And I don't want to be messy or anything, and I don't think I hope people didn't think I was coming from that place. I just wanted to show the examples of how many Eminem origin stories there were. And I even learned some things in my research. I don't know how he was discovered, to be honest. I think that the only thing that really makes sense is some of the stuff that Wendy Day was saying. How they kind of put together that Rap Olympics event in '97 to showcase him and his skill set. And also at the same time, as she was saying out of her mouth, this is not my mouth because I know people are quick to call me a racist. The industry was not, they were hesitant to actually sign off on a white rapper. And I think that that event made them more comfortable because it was showing that, yo, not only can he hold his own, they rock with him on a skill level. So, you know what I think? Go ahead, go ahead. I have a theory based on just those foundational, premises.
I hate to say it. Here's what I always respect about you when you debate me, Mike, and it's been this way for a long time. You don't debate the way that I do, but you are a very good stat checker and fact checker, and you like to let the facts do a lot of the talking for you. I like to let my intuition run a lot of my mind and my soul, and when I hear Wendy Day speak on these matters, that's the one that kind of hits closest to home because it hit the hip hop lover in me. Like I was thinking about the type of hip hop head that I was around that time. And it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of how you get people to buy in to that piece of the culture at the time. So, excellent research and work by you.
Now, I was wrong about the Be Please being, before the Slim Shady LP. Now, that I was wrong about.
Small potatoes. Because I think you're talking about is the ushering of a sound and a movement.
Yeah.
And Bitch Please still does that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, so it's still everything that you say it is. It's just the timestamp on it was just a little incorrect. But
no, I agree with you too when it comes to that buy-in. Because what got me was when he got on the anthem, Sway and Tex record, and how he killed it. And that it was what, because at the time I had heard My Name Is and all that stuff, and I want to say I might have heard Role Model. But for me, and especially in that era, the cannabis era, anybody who was around the late
right.
90s understands that when you get on a posse song, then you kind of get, different levels of credibility. And yeah, that's what got me is when he got on the anthem with everybody in the world on there and he did his thing.
It's 1996, okay? Lyrically, it's okay to be outside in 96. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Like being outside in 96 lyrically is where you want to be. You have Black Thought, Andre 3000, Nas, Jay-Z, Wu-Tang Clan, Big, Tupac, Redman. It's a glorious time to be alive. You're a lyricist.
Yeah.
And so the way that Wendy is explaining how it's skewed to get you to buy into that, because much like, Sway and Tech was you're buying, well, mine wasn't any man off the sound bombing. Like, because I had heard plenty of stuff too. And I'm going to tell you something, even though I often bring up the whole Rap Olympics thing, like, I wasn't really sold on him because of the Rap Olympics. But when I heard Any Man, I was like, I think he just made one of the 2 or 3 best songs on what I think is a classic soundtrack. The only song that I think definitively is better is 199. Nah.
Ooh, 199 was crazy. I love that record.
Yeah, that's the only record that's better than Any Man on there, correct?
On Sound Bombing 2, correct us if we're wrong, folks out there.
I mean, you got something better than that on there? I think there was a Pharoah Monch joint on there, I feel like, but it wasn't Any Man, though. So
what Mos Def record was? Because I remember the B-Boy, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about. Damn. With Mos Def, Mad Skills. Somebody help me in the chat.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the joint. Isn't
B-Boy Document. B-Boy Document.
Yeah, the B-Boy document. Oh, that was the B-side to 199.
Mm-hmm. That, you know
Now,
what? Funny enough, that's the record that sold me on Most Def. Those
wow,
things
I
were
was sold on
important.
Most Def early.
No, I thought that was the first time I might have heard Most Def.
Speaking of which, we gotta discuss that Black Star thing too.
Yeah, I need to add that to the topics. Yeah, man, that's a really big discussion and a really good
It
discussion.
is, and
Because again, even with the platform that it's on, it made me forget it for this discussion. Unfortunately,
that's one of the problematic things about it that I was saying we need to discuss.
we got to talk about that. But
We
yeah,
got that is very
just
problematic.
to breeze through this Eminem thing real quick, because I know some people in the chat are saying that what did I prove? It's not about proving anything. It's just the only thing I proved in that moment is there's so many different stories. That's
No,
it.
that's
And so I don't know really, and like you said in the last episode, that's actually a problem. Our position here and what our position has become is to document things and document things properly. And I remember you said in a previous show that the unsigned hype and the source did it, and Wendy Day sitting here saying that didn't work, so we had to put on the Rap Olympics. So it's like, I know you've heard these things from places. I've heard other things. It's probably the most I don't want to say problematic, but it's just it has so I don't think there's anybody that has this many origin stories, and it's odd.
no. It's like Redman's origin story. I was following MPMD on the tour bus, on the back of their tour bus in a hoopty. Factual story about how Redman got on.
Yeah,
How not get on. MC Search. Faith Newman, A&R at Columbia Records.
yeah,
Factual research. How did Biggie Smalls get on? Puff.
yeah. No,
Not even Puff.
Biggie even said like
Puff
now unsigned hype worked for him because look, Big was working with.
Puff BM was the one that was like, no, we're gonna dress him up and make him nice. That wasn't even Puff idea. That was Misa.
Well,
Mary J. Stylist.
even if we rewind before that, right? You got Maddie C at the source. You know what I'm saying? That put Big on the unsigned hype, and we can go even before that when he was working with Mr. C, who sent him to Maddie C, did the write up. Puff was going to the source as he normally does for the unsigned hype and finds Big. Boom. No convoluted stories there. Man there with the super chat says M was pushed over talent that was better, period. Well, he had a star power, and that happens a lot when, people have star power. But again, I don't want to make it sound like he can't spit, because he can spit. But I just think it's tough to document things that I don't even know what the truth is. Because I don't know if you saw another interview that I sent you from Wendy Day. She was on somebody's podcast.
I saw it.
And she said, what did she say? She kind of confirmed one of the things you said. She said in M's book, the story kind of goes this way, but the way I remembered it was Dr. Dre heard M on the Wake Up Show and then went and got him.
Okay.
She said that. So it's like...
That's what I'm saying. That sounds more real, doesn't
and Dre
it?
says something else. Because, yeah, and then this whole intern story, and I don't know, man. I don't know what to believe, and I guess that's all I'm saying.
No, I think that was, all jokes aside, I think that's kind of where you made your point. It's like, well, Coop, how can you say all this when I can go pull all of this from everywhere? It's like, well, you were right.
Because you got times where Dre said he heard him first, then you got times where Jimmy Iovine might say Dre heard him first, and then Dre will say Iovine heard him first. Then they'll say it was Iovine's nephew that found him, and then it's an intern, and then it's the Wake Up Show story. It's like, what?
I literally want to blame it on the Chronic and not the album. Like if you've ever been in LA and you've smoked what they call the Chronic, it can make you forget. That's the only thing we can blame it on at this point. Is it the Chronic?
Well,
like
you know what?
LA
Funny
Chronic,
you say that. Funny you say that, because respectfully, Snoop Dogg has a whole lot of different versions of that story with him and Nas. I've heard like him, Nas, and Tupac. I've heard like 3 different stories from the same person.
Definitely the Chronic with him.